Hey, it's time. Don't you think it's time to forgive that person for what they did? You may not know what to do. That's why this training is perfect for you today. Watch closely as I walk you through step by step of how to forgive someone. Hey, how you doing? It's Kirk Duncan, and I know what you're looking for. I know what it feels like, when something's happened, and how do you forgive? How do you get past this? Well, just so you know, if you don't follow the steps, you're going to get stuck in this moment. I've had plenty of experiences in my life that I've had to go back to and finish so that I could move forward in my life. So please hear me when I say this. If you don't learn how to forgive and be really good at forgiveness, it is going to become some kind of attachment to your past that could literally drag behind you for the rest of your life. And I don't know if you've ever considered this before, but if you hooked on a 10-pound weight and started dragging it behind you, you actually move slower because it just weighs us down. And so for me, I want to know how to forgive somebody who may have said something hurtful or done something mean or just whatever happened. What is a way, Kirk, that I can go through and actually follow some steps that literally psychologically and emotionally I can process this so that I can continue to move forward in my life? So I've got for you here some steps to take, but first I got to talk about the number one mistake, because really there is something that happens in this process that gets skipped, and when people don't take this step, it really causes some additional problems. And I don't know how much you understand about emotions and thoughts, but when we have unresolved thoughts and emotions inside of us, those unresolved or unfinished moments get stored in our body somewhere. I mean, really, like our body is a recording device. It records our life, our experiences. They found out that we have muscle memory, we have cell memory, we have memories in our DNA. And so our life experiences get stored inside of us. And if they're hurtful, imagine having something hurtful stay inside of you for 20, 30, 40 years. That's not going to turn out good for you. I mean, what if you had a sliver underneath your skin for 40 years? That's going to get infected. That's going to hurt you. So they find that emotions that are stored inside of us that are hurtful can actually cause us to have ailments or have some breakdown happen inside of our body. So I know we want to do these kinds of things to forgive so that we can, better a relationship with somebody, but it also has to do with your own personal health and your own sanity. Tough to create new relationships in your life when you have hurtful ones that still haven't been finished. So let's talk about the mistake that happens. Well, the number one mistake that happens is people don't know how to completely express themselves. The reason why you don't really want to express yourself is because in that moment, you literally are charged too much with emotion. So what happens is, because you're too charged, what happens is you don't want to say anything, because you don't know what's going to fly out of your mouth. You don't know how that's what's going to do to the people, and you don't want to feel out of control, and you just literally, your voice box gets locked up. Your teeth get tight, the weight of the experience weighs on you, and you don't know what to do. So the number one mistake that happens when in the process of forgiveness is that we don't express ourselves, and it just sinks in. Instead of expressing and letting it go, it literally starts to sink into us. And over a period of time, we just absorb it, and it becomes part of us. That hurt becomes part of us, and it didn't go anywhere. So I've learned over the last 12 years of my life, as I've been really diving in and doing some research and study about how can I improve my life, about how to forgive others, and how to really clean this up so I can move forward. I've had to learn how to express myself. But it's tough. It is so tough to go to another person and express yourself. That's why and what I have for you now is I have some steps that you can take that you can immediately start using right now. It's not something you use later. It's like today is the day to start using this so that you can express yourself. And it's a very safe process to express yourself. So you can see here that one of the first steps is to literally pull out a pad of paper and a pen, or get on your laptop or your computer, and it's time to write. And this is what I do is I will open up a fresh new document, and if something's happened between me and another person and I'm not getting over it, I've got to go to express myself. I'm too charged, but I've still got to express myself. So how do I do that? I go and I start to write, and I'll just pull up a new document and I'll start to just tell the whole story. And sometimes it can come out pretty heated when I'm writing this story, but I need to tell all the details. How I feel, what did they do to me, what happened, what went wrong. And I tell the whole story from my point of view. But I must express myself, because if I don't do this, it's gonna just settle in, and now that hurt's gonna become part of me. So in my writing, and when I say it all, I mean tell the whole story. Now be careful. You're not going to give this writing to somebody. You're not going to email it to somebody. You're not going to print it and give it to them. You're not going to share it with your friends. This is only for you so that you can get this expression of what happened to you off of your chest so that you can forgive. Because if you can get this written out all the way through writing, what you're going to find is you're actually going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more confident, and you'll actually feel like you want to talk to the person and work it out and talk about what happened. But while you're charged, there's no way. You're upset with them, they're bothered, they're a jerk, they're mean, they're terrible, what did they do to you? But when you're in this place, you're not going to do the right thing. You're not going to say the right things. You're not even thinking straight. You got to go up here to this one right here and not let this be your number one mistake, and really express yourself through writing. Now, I will say this, there's been times in my life where people have done things and it hurt me really bad, and I could not go to them and talk to them. And I wrote it out. I told the whole story, wrote out everything, and I told the whole story. The next day, I had to write it again. The next day, I wrote it again. I had a situation that happened to me just about 2.5 years ago. I literally wrote the story out of what happened for 2 weeks in a row, every day for 2 weeks, because I was still super charged about it. And if I would have called the person and went and saw the person to try to work it out, I can't think straight. I can't say I'm sorry or ask for forgiveness or try to, figure out what happened. I can't do that because I'm too charged. And one of the reasons why you're struggling with the forgiveness piece is that right there. So do it on paper, write out the whole story. So as the 2 weeks went by and I wrote out the whole story, I was narrowing in on that last part of that 2 weeks, and I actually felt pretty calm about it. And then that's when I called the person up. And I said, hey, can we talk about something that happened? And to them, they totally forgot what happened. They weren't on the receiving end of the hurt. And I, call them up and I say, hey, can I talk to you something? And I was able to be super level-headed, able to be just totally calm, talk about what happened, and express myself. And we were able to work through what happened. But man, there was no way I was going to do that beforehand because I was super, super charged. Now, in your writing, be sure that as you go to express all the details of what happened, you don't finish the letter until you change your point of view about what happened. You see, if all I was doing was saying, this person did this and they did this and now it's hurt me and I can't believe they did this, if that's all I'm doing is just venting that way and I don't change the end of the story, then I'm still stuck in the same story that happened. And what this one right here means is to write in the new point of view means as soon as I get done telling what happened, now I tell it from a new point of view. And the new point of view, here's an example. So-and-so did something today that really offended me, but maybe they didn't understand what happened. Maybe they didn't understand my part that I was playing. And so what I'm doing is I'm pulling myself out of this scenario, and instead of what happened to me, I'm actually writing it from a different point of view of like, well, maybe it happened this way. Maybe this is what they were thinking. So I'm actually showing myself, my mind, a different point of view of the story. So it's not, I'm all locked in on only one point of view. Because if I can't open up my mind to look at this situation from a different point of view, I'm gonna get stuck in my old point of view. When I open myself up and I write the end of it from a whole new point of view, it actually teaches my mind that there could be a possibility of just human error. Maybe the person didn't know. Maybe they weren't aware of what they were doing. And guess what happened? At the end of the 2 weeks, when I called that person and told them what happened, they then expressed to me, Kirk, I didn't even know. Didn't even know that happened. But because I was open to the possibility of just human error, and it wasn't something malicious or something direct to hurt me, I was prepared in my mind to be open for that conversation. You are going to have a tough experience forgiving people if you only have one point of view about what happened. And you're going to have a really tough experience forgiving people if you stay charged. To express what happened and to use writing is going to release a lot of that built up energy inside of you so you can be clear-minded and open to have a discussion. Because isn't that what life really is about? Is be able to improve the relationship, not just go around cutting off relationships. And be careful. There's too many of us that are out there just whacking off relationships. And let's be a little bit more responsible, right? Let's be a little bit more responsible here. Express ourselves, and then let's go have that conversation. I mean, isn't that what life is all about? It's people. And let's do what it takes so that we can forgive and come to some neutral ground with the people around us. Because really, the liquid gold of life is relationships. Hey, these are great videos, aren't they? Well, hey, click subscribe and ring the bell, and I will see you tomorrow.